Dugong and Seagrass Conservation Project. The history of dugong. Dugong, a unique mammal which are believed to have been at the origin of mermaid legends when spotted swimming from a distance. And today, the remaining populations of dugong, commonly known as sea cow, are at serious risk of extinction. There are few types of dugong such as West Indian manatee, West African manatee, Amazonian manatee, and dugong. In 1999, Oswald Bracken-Tyson carried a survey on marine mammal together with students from University Malaysia Sabah. He said the dugong was first spotted in Kuala Lawas in year 2000. Before the study, they thought it had become completely extinct as there were no reports of sightings. The last dugong death was recorded in Sarawak during the Japanese occupation.
During that time, University Malaysia Sabah had project fund where we conducted area survey throughout the coastal water of Sarawak. And in 2001, we covered the whole of the Sarawak coastal water, and we managed to have 39 sightings, in which 6 sightings were whales, 37 dolphins, 3 dugongs, and 3 whale sharks. So with those information, it was very encouraging because one of the sightings during that time was suspected to be first record whale in the coastal water of Sarawak.
When we conducted the area survey in 2001 using Cessna 172P that we rented from Sabah Flying Club, and then we spotted the dugong at Kuala Lawas. The dugong actually is very hard to see because Kuala Lawas, the Seagrass located at the entertainment area. Then the dugong only comes to that area for feeding during high tide. During low tide, the entertainment area is exposed.
When we conducted a study called satellite tracking of marine turtle from our turtle island, Talang-Talang and Satang, we noticed that the turtle in fact moved along the coast of Sarawak toward Sabah, Indonesia, but they stopped at Kuala Lawas for a certain period of time, up to 1 to 2 weeks. And we were curious why it stopped at Kuala Lawas. Now we focus our effort at Kuala Lawas. We noticed that at Kuala Lawas there are seagrass. Seagrass are the same type of grass that you find outside, except that they're under the sea. And sea turtle feeds on the seagrass. Now we focus our study at Kuala Lawas to include marine mammal, and that's how we noticed that there are dugong feeding on the seagrass.
Dugongs in Malaysia have been classified as critically endangered species. Therefore, conservation action has been taken to ensure the prolonged existence of this species.
So, apart from protecting the dugong, we have to do a lot of things as well. We have to reduce pollution, especially when the place is polluted, right? The seagrass will die, and it will affect the dugong, right? And whenever there's a coastal development, we have to ensure that it is taken into aspect of environmental impact. We must look into that, and also we ensure that the control of the traffic, the boats, the ship around the places must be really controlled. It will be noisy. It will be also polluted with the oil slick. And lastly, what's important is we need to ensure that the fishing activities there is within control. If they're practicing poor fishing methods, it will also affect the dugongs. And at times, this dugong, usually they will go up to the surface to take fresh air, right? and this is where they're vulnerable, right? With boats, we're having propellers. If they're not aware of this dugong, the dugong can be killed.
I do believe that if we don't do nothing, dugong may disappear. Because before the year 2000, the briefing done by people like us in conservation is that dugong had gone extinct in Sarawak. The last record was in fact in the 1940s of Tanjung Dato, where dugong was thought to have been killed, and we don't have record. But we finally got a record after 2001 when we did a detailed aerial survey of the Sarawak coastal areas. Now, further to that, we have also noticed two important points. The first one is that we noticed that Kuala Lawas is an active feeding ground for dugong. The largest number of individuals that we have spotted is 30 plus. Plus the fact that we spotted mother and calf feeding in that area. So if we take action now to protect those areas and enhance local communities' understanding to also protect the dugong, there's chances that dugong will not go extinct. And this is what we will be driving toward to get the public also to help us to protect the dugong.
Dugongs feed almost exclusively on seagrass, a flowering plant found in shallow water areas. An adult will eat about 30 kilograms each day. As dugong feeds, whole plants are uprooted, leaving telltale tracks behind. They will also feed on macroinvertebrates such as sea squids. During the United Nations Environment Programme or Convention on Migratory Species Dugong Workshop for Southeast Asian region in 2010, the second Minister of Resource Planning and Environment pledged his support for Kuala Lawas to become a Marine Protected Area MPA for conserving the dugong and seagrass. The state government has invited the local community in Lawas district to also assist in the conservation efforts of dugong and seaweed. Therefore, 70 individuals have been appointed as honorary wildlife rangers in an official appointment ceremony in Lawas on 4th of March 2017. Various efforts were undertaken by the MY5 team, Sarawak Forestry Corporation, in raising public awareness on dugong conservation, including an eco-rangers program at local schools and community centers. The Nature and You is the environment education program organized by the SFC-SB for school children. The program objective is to educate students whilst instilling awareness and appreciation of the natural environment. It offers a conducive setting to expose students to hands-on experience in environmental education, especially related to dugong and its environment. It involves informal approaches in classroom and outdoor activities related to forestry, environment, wildlife, ecology, as well as survival skills, teamwork, and leadership skills.
What's the future hope for dugong? I think dugong in itself is very exciting. It is not just about protection. I think there is a lot of opportunity for the local communities to be able to enhance the economic status from the dugong, because if we do get to understand the dugong very well, you can in fact conduct tourism. Some countries, they do aerial survey, high-end tourism to observe the dugong feeding. Now we know that the dugong will come in to feed during the high tide. So the local, in fact, with good management of species, they can in fact promote it as high-end tourism. If the dugong is that day during the high tide, you can promote snorkeling above the seagrass. Snorkeling above the seagrass is an experience by itself. When I did it myself, I find myself as if I'm flying above the seagrass meadow. You will see all the fishes going around, interaction with you, and you see things like sea cucumbers and crabs and fishes around you. It's a feeling by itself. So to me, the dugong in itself can be conserved and can continue to survive, but the local community can also benefit from it.
So please, our fellow Sarawakian or everybody out there, do not pollute our rivers or our sea with plastics. The dugong, they might be confused to see a green plastic bag like seagrass. They might eat it, and that's where it will stuck into the stomach, and it will cause them to die. So, ladies and gentlemen, conservation is everybody's job. It's not only me, it's not only SFC officers, it's not only the NGOs and also the government, but it is everybody's job and everybody's responsibility.
I would say conservation is not the effort done by a few people who are paid by the government, but it is the job of everybody to ensure that what we enjoy today can continue to be enjoyed by the future generation. As the saying of the Red Indian, the wise Red Indian goes, this land is not given to you by your grandfather. You borrow it from your grandchildren. So give it back to your children and to your grandchildren as good as when you receive it from your grandfather, so that they too can enjoy the benefit of what the land provides.